Fuchs wheels. We'll probably try and take one of these off. We believe they're original to the car. Not all the hubcaps are in place, certainly around the other side. 14-inch. So we'll try and get a look at the back of one of these to give you a serial number. Back inside, top of the fender. Quite solid up there. Okay. Now we've got a fat man bending down. And shuffling. Okay. So now we get to the rocker, and obviously there's some rust there, but might not be too bad. I've seen worse, put it that way. Jacking point. Can I see down there? See underneath? You've got some definite rust on the jacking point, as in beyond the surface rust. Looking underneath, I'm now pointing, whether you can tell or not, at the rear floor. So we have an area of rust there, and you can see right through there into the cabin. So as originally stated, it does need both rear floor pans, and you can see right there. Now looking further underneath, that's all pretty solid, but you can see where the actual floor pans start. Now, again, coming from the previous owner, we acquired the car, I'm thinking approximately 4 or 5 months ago. We knew the guy, a really nice guy. Time and health were catching up with him, hence he faced the fact that he was never going to finish this car, and we knew of the car, and we received a phone call. We were on the fence about what to do with it. We weren't under the illusion that we were going to create a Concours car or anything like that. We liked the idea of a resto mod. Sacrilege to some people, I know, but when you get a car that falls to a certain condition, you know, unless it's some kind of limited edition, I guess you've got license to do what you want. And the chap we had in mind to collaborate with doing this has moved 1,500 miles away or kilometres away to Calgary, so that's a non-starter. So BAT came to the rescue, and we now reserved it so that somebody that doesn't have a 100 grand budget or 150 grand budget can get a car that can go back on the road, that will be of some value when it's finished. Therefore they're not just throwing money into the ocean, and they can turn this into a driver and enjoy it and do all that cars and coffee stuff. They can do it over a period of time where you can pick up parts from the Samba, all that kind of thing, and more parts are here than are not here. So the front windscreen isn't here. Well, that's not a problem as such. The front and rear seats do not come with the car. 15 years ago or so they went for recovering and never came back. I don't know which shop they went to, but yeah, that's a non-starter. This was stored in a barn prior to the previous owner getting it in, I think, the very late 90s. And he explained that the reason for the hole in the floor and the rust, not in other parts of the car, so the front and rear, was there was a leak in the barn, and that leak in the winter leaked directly into the car. I mean, regardless of the cause, you can see the end result. So, floor pans required, but solid everywhere else. I'm going to shuffle backwards. Sorry about the length and boredom of this video and my heavy breathing. But hopefully you can just see enough to give you enough information as to whether or not you bid on the car or not. We're located in Nanaimo, British Columbia, so the nearest part of America to us is either Bellingham, Blaine, that kind of area, Peace Arch Crossing, or Port Angeles from Victoria on Vancouver Island. And we can also assist with transportation all over the lower 48 really, because it gives me and my buddy the chance of a road trip, and we like a road trip. So as you can tell, I'm under the back end. Trying to just turn angles, so sorry if you're infuriated looking at the looking at your computer screen and tilting your head and getting travel sick. I'm just trying to get some angles for you, and then I'll go down to the other side as well. So the engine is still in situ, and apparently she drove in, and we'll be uploading another video shortly after this or before this, where we just put a 19mm spanner on, and Adam turns it with his perished little hands, and yeah, it just turns and you can hear the compression. For those interested, we might have a spare engine, which we also believe is a 2.2, and a spare transmission. And I've got a 1969 912 transmission, if anyone's interested in that. I sold my 912 on Bring a Trailer. It sold again on Bring a Trailer. Oh, I miss that car. The balance and the poise of that car. And sometimes circumstances force you to sell what you don't want to sell, especially in these strange times of COVID and everything else that people have gone through and are continuing to go through. And yeah, that counts for Another one of our Bring a Trailer sales, a Honda Blackbird. That was my personal bike. I searched for it for several years, you know, to find one in that particular colour, that model year, that condition. And life circumstances and survival mean sometimes you've got to give these toys up. Even if they're not of any great value, there's a sentimental value, which is a little sad, but I'm sure a lot of you guys and girls on Bring a Trailer understand that sometimes you get attached to these things. Thankfully not attached to this Porsche 911. So it's up for grabs, no reserve, and yes, we can help with transport. Even to Europe, I don't know whether that's feasible. We sent a 190 SL, a 58 to Europe, ended up in Slovenia. So I'll stop this video and start another one.